Once upon a time, in a small African village nestled between rolling hills and lush green forests, there lived a young princess named Abeni. She was renowned throughout the land for her unparalleled beauty, with skin as smooth and dark as ebony, eyes that sparkled like the stars in the night sky, and a smile that could light up the darkest of rooms. Her father, the wise and noble King Obasi, was immensely proud of his daughter and often boasted about her to neighboring kingdoms. As Abeni reached the age of marriage, suitors from far and wide began to arrive at the village, each hoping to win the heart of the beautiful princess. They came bearing gifts of gold, rare spices, and precious gems, hoping to impress both the princess and her father. The villagers were abuzz with excitement, for it was not every day that such a procession of wealthy and handsome men visited their humble abode. Despite the many gifts and flattering words, Abeni remained indifferent. She longed for a suitor who would see beyond her beauty and love her for who she truly was. She dreamt of a man who would cherish her mind, her heart, and her soul, not just her appearance. And so she waited patiently, hoping that one day her true love would arrive. One sunny morning, a particularly handsome prince named Adewale arrived at the village. He was the prince of a distant and prosperous kingdom, known for his bravery and kindness. With a heart full of hope, he approached King Obasi and asked for permission to court Princess Abeni. The king, impressed by Adewale's demeanor and reputation, agreed to let him try. Adewale spent days getting to know Abeni, taking long walks with her through the village, sharing stories and laughing together. It did not take long for the villagers to notice a special bond forming between the two. They whispered among themselves that perhaps Adewale was the one destined to win the princess's heart. However, there was a secret that Abeni kept hidden from everyone, a secret that filled her with shame and fear. She suffered from a condition that caused her to pass gas uncontrollably. This ailment, though not harmful, was embarrassing and had caused her much distress throughout her life. Abeni worried that if Adewale discovered her secret, he would turn away from her like so many others had in the past. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, casting a golden glow over the village, Adewale invited Abeni to a private dinner. The setting was perfect, with a table set under a large baobab tree, adorned with candles and flowers. Abeni felt her heart swell with affection for the prince, yet she also felt a pang of anxiety gnawing at her insides. As they sat down to eat, Abeni did her best to control her nerves. Adewale spoke of his dreams and aspirations, his hopes for their future together, and his desire to make her the happiest woman in the world. Abeni listened intently, her heart yearning for the life he described, but her mind clouded with worry. Suddenly, without warning, Abeni's worst fear came true. A loud and uncontrollable fart escaped her. The sound echoed through the quiet evening air, and the smell quickly followed. Abeni's cheeks flushed with embarrassment, and she could not bring herself to meet Adewale's eyes. She expected him to react with disgust, to get up and leave just like so many others before him. But Adewale did not move. He remained seated, his expression one of surprise but not revulsion. After a moment of silence, he reached across the table and gently took Abeni's hand in his. "Abeni," he said softly, "everyone has their imperfections. What matters to me is the person you are inside. I see your kindness, your intelligence, and your strength. Nothing else matters." Tears welled up in Abeni's eyes as she looked at Adewale, her heart filled with gratitude and hope. For the first time, she felt accepted and loved for who she truly was. They continued their dinner, talking and laughing as if nothing had happened. Abeni knew that she had found her true love in Adewale, a man who could see beyond her flaws and cherish her for who she was. As the evening came to an end, Adewale walked Abeni back to her home. They stood at the doorstep, and Adewale looked deeply into her eyes. "Will you be mine, Abeni? Will you be my queen and share your life with me?" he asked. With a joyful heart, Abeni nodded. "Yes, Adewale, I will." And so the two were engaged to be married, and the village celebrated their union with great joy and festivity. The tale of Princess Abeni and Prince Adewale became a legend, a story of love and acceptance that was passed down through generations. Abeni had finally found her true love, someone who embraced her for all that she was, including her imperfections. The villagers buzzed with excitement as preparations for Abeni and Adewale's wedding began. The entire village wanted to be part of the grand celebration. Colorful decorations adorned every hut and street, and the air was filled with the sweet aroma of delicious food being prepared. Musicians practiced their songs and dancers rehearsed their routines, eager to perform at the royal wedding. Abeni felt a mixture of joy and apprehension. While she was thrilled to marry Adewale, she couldn't help but worry about her condition. Though Adewale had accepted her, she feared the reaction of the guests during the wedding ceremony. Nevertheless, she found solace in Adewale's unwavering support and love. As the day approached, a renowned healer named Binta visited the village. Binta was known for her wisdom and her ability to cure ailments that others deemed untreatable. Hearing of Abeni's plight, she approached the princess with a proposition. "Dear Abeni," Binta began, her voice gentle yet firm, "I have heard of your troubles and wish to help. There is a rare herb that grows deep within the Whispering Forest. If consumed, it might alleviate your condition. However, retrieving this herb is no simple task. The forest is dense and filled with many dangers." Abeni, desperate for a solution, decided to embark on the perilous quest. Adewale insisted on accompanying her, unwilling to let his beloved face the dangers alone. Together, they set off early the next morning, their hearts filled with determination and hope. The Whispering Forest was unlike any place they had ever seen. Tall trees with thick canopies blocked out much of the sunlight, creating a twilight world filled with the sounds of nature. The path was narrow and winding, and every step seemed to bring new challenges. They encountered treacherous terrain, poisonous plants, and wild animals that lurked in the shadows. Despite the obstacles, Abeni and Adewale pressed on, supporting each other through the difficult journey. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day as they faced their fears and overcame the challenges together. After several days of arduous travel, they finally reached the heart of the forest where the rare herb was said to grow. In a small clearing bathed in the soft glow of filtered sunlight, they found the herb. Its delicate purple flowers stood out against the greenery, and Abeni knew at once that this was what they had been searching for. As she carefully picked the herb, a sense of relief washed over her. She hoped that this would be the answer to her prayers. With the herb in hand, Abeni and Adewale made their way back to the village. The return journey was just as difficult, but their spirits were high, buoyed by the hope of a cure. When they finally emerged from the forest, they were greeted with cheers and applause from the villagers who had been anxiously awaiting their return. Binta prepared a special potion using the herb and instructed Abeni to drink it. The taste was bitter, but Abeni swallowed it down, her eyes filled with determination. Days passed, and slowly but surely, Abeni noticed a change. Her condition improved, and the uncontrollable episodes became less frequent. The day of the wedding arrived, and the village was alive with celebration. Abeni, adorned in a stunning gown made of the finest silk, radiated happiness. Adewale stood by her side, his eyes filled with love and pride. The ceremony was a beautiful blend of tradition and joy, with music, dance, and the laughter of friends and family. As Abeni and Adewale exchanged vows, the village elders blessed their union. Abeni felt a wave of emotion, grateful for the love and acceptance she had found. She no longer feared her condition, knowing that, with Adewale by her side, she could face any challenge. The festivities continued late into the night, with everyone rejoicing in the happiness of the newlyweds. The tale of their love and the challenges they overcame became a cherished story in the village, a reminder that true love sees beyond imperfections and embraces the beauty within. The journey they had embarked on together had strengthened their bond, and as they began their new life as husband and wife, they knew that they could face whatever the future held. Their love story became an inspiration to all, a testament to the power of love, acceptance, and the courage to overcome life's obstacles. And so, Abeni and Adewale lived happily, their love growing deeper with each passing day, their hearts forever intertwined in the timeless dance of life and love.
The village thrived under the reign of Abeni and Adewale. Their love brought prosperity and peace to their people. The fields yielded abundant harvests, and the rivers teemed with fish. The villagers often spoke of their wise and kind leaders, whose tale had already become a cherished legend. One day, a mysterious traveler arrived in the village. Clad in worn-out robes, with eyes that held secrets of distant lands, he introduced himself as Kofi. He claimed to be a storyteller, wandering from village to village, sharing stories and collecting new ones. Intrigued by his presence, Abeni and Adewale invited Kofi to stay and share his tales. Kofi's stories were mesmerizing. He spoke of enchanted forests, talking animals, and ancient spirits. The villagers gathered around the fire each night, eager to hear his next tale. Abeni, always curious and eager to learn, found herself captivated by Kofi's stories. One evening, Kofi shared a tale about a hidden treasure buried beneath a sacred tree in the Valley of Echoes. The treasure, he claimed, was guarded by an ancient spirit who only revealed it to those with pure hearts. The story piqued Abeni's interest, and she felt a strange pull towards the valley. She confided in Adewale, who, despite his initial reluctance, agreed to accompany her to the Valley of Echoes. Setting out at dawn, they journeyed across vast savannas and crossed mighty rivers. They encountered friendly tribes who offered them food and shelter, and their path was lit by the stories Kofi had shared. After many days, they finally arrived at the Valley of Echoes, a place where even the slightest whisper seemed to resonate forever. In the center of the valley stood a massive baobab tree, its gnarled branches stretching towards the sky. Abeni approached the tree, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she laid her hand on its trunk, a soft voice echoed around them. "Who seeks the treasure of the Valley of Echoes?" the voice asked. Abeni and Adewale exchanged glances before Abeni spoke up. "We seek it, guided by the stories of a wise traveler. Our hearts are pure and our intentions noble." The ancient spirit, invisible but ever present, tested their sincerity. A series of trials followed, each designed to test their bravery, wisdom, and compassion. They faced illusions that played on their fears, riddles that challenged their intellect, and situations that required utmost kindness. Through each trial, Abeni and Adewale supported each other, their bond growing even stronger. Their courage, intelligence, and compassion shone through, and they successfully completed the spirit's challenges. Finally, the spirit spoke again, its voice filled with approval. "You have proven yourselves worthy. The treasure shall be yours." The ground beneath the baobab tree trembled, and a hidden compartment opened, revealing an ancient chest adorned with intricate carvings. Inside the chest lay not gold or jewels, but scrolls containing forgotten knowledge and wisdom of their ancestors. It was a treasure far greater than they had imagined. Returning to their village, Abeni and Adewale brought with them the scrolls, which contained invaluable wisdom about governance, healing, and harmony with nature. They shared this knowledge with their people, who embraced the ancient teachings, leading to an era of unparalleled prosperity and peace. The mysterious traveler, Kofi, revealed himself to be more than just a storyteller. He was a guardian of ancient knowledge, entrusted with the task of finding worthy souls to inherit the wisdom of the ancestors. With his mission complete, he bid farewell to the village, leaving behind a legacy of stories and lessons that would be remembered for generations. Abeni and Adewale continued to rule with wisdom and compassion, their love and the knowledge they had gained guiding their every decision. The village flourished, becoming a beacon of hope and prosperity. Their tale, enriched by the ancient wisdom, became a legend that inspired countless generations, reminding all who heard it of the power of love, courage, and the enduring wisdom of the ancestors.
One day, while Abeni and Adewale were walking along the edge of their kingdom, they stumbled upon an old woman sitting by the side of the road. Her clothes were tattered, and her face was lined with the marks of time, but her eyes shone with an inner light. "Greetings, kind rulers," she said with a voice that carried both age and wisdom. "I am Nana Ya, a seer from the distant hills. I bring you a prophecy of great importance." Intrigued by her presence and her words, Abeni and Adewale invited Nana Ya to their home. As they sat around the hearth, Nana Ya began to weave her tale. In a land far from here, beyond the great desert and over the misty mountains, lies the land of eternal night. It is a place shrouded in darkness where the sun never rises. The people there are trapped in perpetual shadow, their spirits broken by despair. Long ago, a powerful sorcerer cast a spell, plunging the land into darkness. The only way to break the curse is to find the light of truth, a mystical artifact hidden deep within the heart of the land. Abeni and Adewale listened intently, their hearts moved by the plight of the people living in eternal night. They knew they had to help. The next morning, they set off towards the great desert, accompanied by a small group of trusted companions. The journey was arduous, with scorching days and freezing nights. They faced sandstorms that seemed to come out of nowhere and encountered strange creatures that roamed the desert. After many days of travel, they reached the edge of the misty mountains. The air was thick with fog, making it difficult to see the path ahead. They climbed steep cliffs and crossed treacherous ravines, their determination unwavering. At last, they arrived at the entrance to the land of eternal night. As they stepped into the darkness, the air grew cold, and the silence was almost deafening. They could see the faint outlines of buildings and trees, but everything was cloaked in shadow. The people of the land, pale and weary, emerged from their homes, their eyes filled with a mixture of hope and fear. Abeni and Adewale learned from the villagers that the light of truth was hidden in the caves of despair, a labyrinthine network of tunnels beneath the Black Mountain. The caves were guarded by the sorcerer's minions, creatures born of darkness that could only be defeated by the pure of heart. Undeterred, Abeni and Adewale made their way to the Black Mountain. The entrance to the caves was guarded by towering stone statues that seemed to come to life as they approached. With bravery and skill, they fought off the guardians and entered the dark, winding tunnels. Inside the caves, they faced numerous challenges designed to test their courage, wisdom, and integrity. They navigated through narrow passages filled with traps, solved ancient riddles, and resisted illusions meant to lead them astray. Each trial brought them closer to the light of truth. Finally, in the deepest part of the caves, they found a chamber bathed in a soft golden glow. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, and upon it rested the light of truth, a radiant orb that pulsated with pure energy. As Abeni reached out to take the orb, the sorcerer appeared, a figure cloaked in darkness. His eyes burned with malice as he tried to stop them. A fierce battle ensued, with Abeni and Adewale fighting side by side, their love and unity giving them strength. With a final decisive blow, they defeated the sorcerer, who dissolved into the shadows from whence he came. Abeni grasped the light of truth, and instantly a brilliant light filled the caves, dispelling the darkness. The light spread throughout the land of eternal night, breaking the curse and bringing dawn to the land for the first time in centuries. The people rejoiced as the first rays of sunlight touched their faces, their spirits lifting as hope returned to their hearts. Abeni and Adewale were hailed as heroes. The people of the land offered their eternal gratitude and friendship. With the curse broken, the land began to flourish once more. Returning to their own kingdom, Abeni and Adewale were greeted with cheers and celebration. Their bravery and compassion had not only saved a distant land, but had also strengthened the bonds of unity and friendship between different peoples. Their deeds became the stuff of legends, inspiring future generations to believe in the power of love, courage, and the unwavering pursuit of justice and truth. Abeni and Adewale's bravery and compassion resonated throughout their land. One evening, as the couple strolled by the serene riverbank, an emissary arrived with urgent news. He spoke of a distant kingdom plagued by a mysterious illness. This malady was spreading rapidly, causing great suffering. The king of that realm, King Kwame, had sent a plea for help, hoping that the renowned leaders would come to their aid. Without hesitation, Abeni and Adewale decided to respond to the call. Gathering a team of skilled healers and wise elders, they set out towards the afflicted kingdom. The path was arduous, through dense forests teeming with life and across vast plains where the horizon seemed to stretch endlessly. Along the way, they encountered various tribes, each offering guidance and provisions, their respect for Abeni and Adewale evident. Upon reaching King Kwame's kingdom, they found the situation dire. The people were weak and fearful, the illness having taken a heavy toll. King Kwame, a regal figure with eyes full of sorrow, welcomed them with gratitude. He explained that no remedy had been found, and the land's healers were at a loss. Abeni and Adewale, with their entourage of healers, set to work immediately. They examined the afflicted, studied the symptoms, and consulted ancient texts and local wisdom. Among their group was Elder Jomo, a sage with knowledge of rare herbs and traditional medicine. He suggested seeking out the flower of life, a plant believed to hold miraculous healing properties. This flower was said to bloom once every decade, deep within the sacred grove, a place few dared to enter. Determined to find the flower, Abeni, Adewale, and Elder Jomo ventured into the sacred grove. The air was thick with the scent of exotic plants and the sounds of unseen creatures. They navigated through the dense foliage, their senses alert to the vibrant life around them. After hours of searching, they reached a hidden clearing bathed in a mystical light. In the center stood the flower of life, its petals shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Carefully, they harvested the flower and returned to the village. Elder Jomo prepared a potion, combining the flower with other medicinal herbs. The potion was administered to the sick, and within days, signs of recovery began to appear. The people regained their strength, and hope was restored to the kingdom. In gratitude, King Kwame hosted a grand celebration in honor of Abeni, Adewale, and their companions. Music filled the air, and the scent of delicious food wafted through the palace. The people danced and sang, their hearts light once more. King Kwame expressed his eternal gratitude, pledging a lasting alliance between their kingdoms. Abeni and Adewale, their mission accomplished, returned home to a hero's welcome. Their people celebrated their safe return and the news of their success. The bonds forged through their actions strengthened the unity among the various tribes and kingdoms, fostering an era of unprecedented peace and cooperation. Their tale spread far and wide, becoming a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of compassion, wisdom, and the unyielding spirit of those who seek to heal and protect. The land flourished, and the legacy of Abeni and Adewale continued to inspire generations, reminding all of the profound impact of love, courage, and unity. In the heart of the thriving village, Abeni and Adewale were approached by a delegation from the Mountain Kingdom. These envoys brought troubling news of a great dragon named Nkiru, whose fiery breath and insatiable hunger were wreaking havoc upon their lands. The villagers lived in constant fear, unable to farm or gather food, and their cries for help had reached the ears of the wise leaders. Abeni and Adewale, known for their courage and resourcefulness, accepted the challenge. They assembled a small group of their bravest warriors and set out towards the towering peaks where Nkiru was said to dwell. The path was treacherous, with steep cliffs and narrow trails winding through the rugged terrain. The air grew colder as they ascended, the atmosphere heavy with anticipation. Upon reaching the dragon's lair, a vast cavern etched into the mountain's side, they were met with an awe-inspiring sight. Nkiru, a magnificent beast with scales that glistened like polished obsidian, lay coiled around a mound of treasure. The dragon's eyes, glowing like molten gold, fixed upon the intruders with a mixture of curiosity and menace. Adewale stepped forward, addressing Nkiru with a voice strong and calm. "Great Nkiru, we come not to fight but to understand. Why do you bring such suffering to the Mountain Kingdom?" The dragon's voice rumbled through the cavern, deep and resonant. "Humans have always taken without asking, destroyed without thinking. I guard this treasure because it is all that remains of my ancestors, plundered by your kind." Abeni, sensing an opportunity for peace, spoke gently. "We seek to right the wrongs of the past. Let us find a way to coexist, to bring harmony between our people and yours." Nkiru, intrigued by their sincerity, agreed to a truce. The dragon demanded a token of goodwill, a relic from his ancestors, believed to be lost in the ruins of an ancient temple deep within the forest. This relic, a golden amulet, held great sentimental value and was said to have protective powers. Abeni, Adewale, and their companions ventured into the dense forest, guided by the dragon's description of the temple's location. The forest was a place of enchantment, with towering trees whose leaves whispered secrets and paths that twisted like the threads of an intricate tapestry. They encountered mystical creatures, some helpful and others mischievous, but their determination never wavered. After days of searching, they discovered the temple, hidden beneath a canopy of vines and moss. The entrance was guarded by ancient statues, their eyes seeming to follow the intruders. Inside the temple was a maze of corridors and chambers, each filled with traps and puzzles designed to protect the relic. Navigating through these challenges required all their skills and wits. They deciphered cryptic symbols, avoided hidden pitfalls, and faced illusions that tested their resolve. Finally, in the innermost chamber, they found the golden amulet, resting on an altar bathed in a soft, ethereal light. With the amulet in hand, they returned to Nkiru's lair. The dragon's eyes widened with recognition and gratitude as they presented the relic. Nkiru, true to his word, agreed to cease his attacks and protect the Mountain Kingdom instead. The dragon's presence became a symbol of strength and wisdom, and the people of the Mountain Kingdom learned to live in harmony with their mighty guardian. Abeni and Adewale, hailed as peacemakers, returned to their village, bringing with them stories of their adventures and the promise of new alliances. The Mountain Kingdom, now thriving under Nkiru's protection, sent gifts of rare herbs and minerals, strengthening the bond between the two realms. The tale of Abeni, Adewale, and the dragon Nkiru spread across the lands, a story of bravery, wisdom, and the transformative power of understanding and cooperation. The village continued to flourish, its people inspired by the enduring legacy of their beloved leaders. One tranquil evening, as the village basked in the glow of a setting sun, an unexpected visitor arrived. She was a regal figure, cloaked in robes of deep indigo adorned with silver embroidery. Her name was Queen Isi, ruler of a distant island kingdom known for its extraordinary artisans and vibrant culture. She had come with a request for aid. Queen Isi spoke of a dire situation. Her kingdom was suffering under the curse of an ancient artifact, the Mask of Shadows, which had been stolen from its sacred shrine. This mask, once a symbol of protection, had fallen into the hands of a malevolent sorcerer named Karabo. With the mask's power, Karabo had shrouded the island in perpetual twilight, draining the spirit of the people and the land. Abeni and Adewale, moved by her plight, agreed to assist. They gathered their most trusted advisors and set sail towards the island kingdom, their hearts heavy with the weight of their mission. The sea was vast and unpredictable, but they navigated its waves with determination, guided by the stars and the spirit of their ancestors. Upon reaching the island, they were greeted by a somber sight. The once vibrant landscape was now cloaked in an eerie half-light, and the people moved about with listless expressions. Queen Essie led them to the ancient shrine where the Mask of Shadows had been enshrined for generations. There, the high priestess, an elderly woman with eyes that seemed to pierce the veil of time, told them more about Karabo's lair, hidden within the labyrinthine caves of the obsidian cliffs. Abeni, Adewale, and their companions made their way to the obsidian cliffs, their path illuminated by torches. The cliffs loomed tall and foreboding, their black surfaces glistening like polished glass. The entrance to the caves was guarded by eerie statues that seemed to shift in the flickering light, adding to the sense of foreboding. Inside the caves were a dark maze, filled with echoes and shadows that seemed to move of their own accord. The air was thick with an oppressive energy, making every step feel like a struggle. As they ventured deeper, they encountered Karabo's minions, twisted creatures born of darkness and malice. Each battle was fierce, but Abeni and Adewale fought with the strength of their love and the determination to free the island from its curse. Finally, they reached the heart of the cave, a vast chamber where Karabo awaited. The sorcerer, draped in dark robes and wielding the Mask of Shadows, exuded an aura of palpable evil. His eyes gleamed with malevolent intent as he confronted the intruders. Adewale stepped forward, his voice steady and resolute. "Karabo, release this island from your grasp, return the mask, and end this darkness." Karabo laughed, a sound that echoed through the chamber like the cawing of crows. "Fools, the power of the mask is mine, and I will not relinquish it." A fierce battle ensued, with Abeni and Adewale matching their strength and wits against Karabo's dark magic. The cave was filled with flashes of light and bursts of energy as spells clashed. Despite his power, Karabo underestimated the resilience and unity of Abeni and Adewale. With a final decisive strike, they managed to disarm him and seize the Mask of Shadows. As soon as the mask was removed from Karabo's possession, its dark influence began to wane. The sorcerer, now powerless, was captured and bound by the island's warriors. Abeni and Adewale returned the mask to its rightful place in the shrine, and with a solemn incantation, the high priestess lifted the curse. The island gradually emerged from the twilight, bathed once more in the warm light of day. The people, rejuvenated by the restoration of their land, celebrated with joyous abandon. Queen Essie, overwhelmed with gratitude, honored Abeni and Adewale with gifts of exquisite craftsmanship and treasures unique to the island. Returning home, they were received with immense celebration. Their village, already flourishing, now had even stronger ties with the island kingdom. The bonds of friendship and mutual respect grew, enriching both lands. The adventures of Abeni and Adewale, now intertwined with the fate of the island kingdom, became a story passed down through the ages. They continued to lead with wisdom and compassion, their hearts forever united in the pursuit of peace and prosperity for all they encountered. In the village, the echoes of past adventures brought a sense of unity and pride among the people. The tales of Abeni and Adewale's bravery, wisdom, and compassion were told and retold, inspiring young and old alike. One day, As the couple was engaged in their daily duties, a messenger arrived from the distant kingdom of Nzinga, bearing news that would once again call upon their heroic spirits. The messenger spoke of a looming threat, a powerful warlord named Kwaku, who had been amassing an army with the intent of conquering neighboring lands. Kwaku's ambition and ruthlessness had already caused much suffering, and his next target was the peaceful kingdom of Nzinga. The king of Nzinga, a wise and elderly ruler named Tunde, had sent a plea for assistance, knowing of Abeni and Adewale's reputation. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Abeni and Adewale did not hesitate. They gathered their most skilled warriors and strategists, preparing to meet the threat head-on. The journey to Nzinga was arduous, filled with long nights and challenging terrain, but their resolve never wavered. They were driven by a deep sense of duty to protect the innocent and uphold the values of peace and justice. Upon reaching Nzinga, they found a kingdom on the brink of despair. King Tunde welcomed them with open arms, his gratitude evident in his weary eyes. He shared with them the intelligence gathered about Kwaku's forces and their movements. Abeni and Adewale quickly devised a strategy, combining their knowledge of warfare with the wisdom gained from their past experiences. As Kwaku's army approached, the villagers of Nzinga prepared to defend their homeland. Abeni and Adewale, leading the united forces, inspired confidence and hope. They fortified the kingdom's defenses, trained the villagers in combat, and set traps to weaken the enemy's advance. Every detail was meticulously planned, every person given a role in the coming conflict. The day of the battle arrived. The sky was overcast, casting a somber shadow over the land. Kwaku's army, vast and formidable, approached with confidence, expecting an easy victory. However, they were met with fierce resistance. Abeni and Adewale, fighting at the forefront, led their troops with unmatched bravery and skill. The battle raged for hours, with both sides displaying incredible valor. Abeni and Adewale's strategies proved effective, but Kwaku himself was a formidable foe, leading his warriors with brutal efficiency. In the heat of the battle, Adewale found himself face to face with Kwaku. The two clashed, their weapons ringing out like thunder. Kwaku, though powerful, was no match for Adewale's skill and determination. With a swift and decisive strike, Adewale disarmed Kwaku, bringing him to his knees. As Kwaku's forces witnessed their leader's defeat, their morale crumbled and they began to retreat. The battle was won and Nzinga was safe. King Tunde declared a day of celebration, honoring Abeni, Adewale, and all who had fought bravely. The people of Nzinga, filled with gratitude, bestowed gifts upon their saviors and pledged their eternal friendship. The bonds between the kingdoms grew even stronger, ensuring mutual support and cooperation for generations to come. Abeni and Adewale returned to their village, their hearts filled with the satisfaction of another mission accomplished. Their homecoming was marked by joyous celebrations, with music, dance, and feasts that lasted for days. The village, now a symbol of unity and strength, thrived more than ever. As they settled back into their roles as leaders, Abeni and Adewale reflected on their journey. They had faced numerous challenges, each one making them stronger and wiser. Their love, unwavering and resilient, had guided them through every trial. The village flourished under their continued guidance, becoming a beacon of hope and prosperity. The tales of their adventures, filled with courage, wisdom, and compassion, were etched into the hearts of the people, ensuring that their legacy would live on. And so, the story of Abeni and Adewale, the brave and wise leaders, became an enduring legend. Their names were spoken with reverence, their deeds celebrated in song and dance. The village, united and strong, carried forward their spirit, thriving in peace and harmony for generations to come.